What's going on, everybody? This is Patrick with MTO Productions. How are you doing? How's my filmmakers and photographers? Well, it's that time. First roll when we come back. Alright guys, I finally done it and shot a full roll through the Yashica G camera. Took it to a couple different places to shoot a full roll through it. Now, focusing with this camera, I think I talked about it in the original video. You have to line up an imaginary image inside the viewfinder there, and hopefully you have good focus. Now, when you're having to take long exposures, what I have found that you're better with a tripod than you are just freehanded. So there's going to be some bad photos, but for a camera that's as old as I am, actually it's a year older than I am, not bad at all. I was really impressed with the photographs. Now what we're going to do is we're going to open up and go over to the computer, and we're going to bring up the photos. We'll discuss what may have happened, but I got pretty handy using this thing the last few days I shot with it. Will I shoot with it again? I don't know. May not for a while. But what I'll probably end up doing is taking the battery out and leaving the batteries out of it and just let it set, covered up. I will say this, there was nothing on any of the pictures that would tell me that there's a bad lens of any kind in this with this camera. I think it's all functioning at 100%. Is there some things that would make me believe that it's a bad photographer? Yeah, there's a bunch of that. So anyway, I'll be back in just a minute with my final thoughts, and we'll take a look at the pictures. All right, guys, let's take a look at these pictures. Like I said, I thought I took these at many different places, but it looks like they were, for the most part, I'm pretty sure there were some others. But let's just get into it and see what we got, and then we'll talk about it. So, first one was on, I think this was just on the interstate. Decided to grab a picture. Now, none of this has been edited. I've got them in Lightroom, but this is not in Lightroom. This is actually in just on the computer. So we'll take a look at it. I was shooting Kodak 200 Gold with this particular camera. I would do what it would say if I was to press down the button, if it would tell me I needed to slow it down, or if I needed to open the shutter more, I would make those adjustments and go. Now, that's something I got to talk about, is you don't just pull up the camera, snap, go, because you have to get it in focus. That's your imaginary blurry picture in with your regular picture. Then you got to make sure you're fast enough. You got to make sure, you know, you're on the right light setting. So it takes a lot more doing to take a picture. And this was just in the van riding along. A little ducky. I was sitting in the back seat. This was a bathroom stop that we made, and this is at the well, me standing outside just snapping a couple of pictures out of the blue. I don't know what this is supposed to be. Doesn't look good. Not sure. So anyway, this was down at the cabin we rented for the weekend. That's a picture of the other three cameras that I have with me. My Canon 35, my Canon SL3, and then my Insta360. There's another picture. I thought this is a little blurry here, and if you really get down into the picture, it's kind of blurry on the picture itself. Let me see, was this one any better? No. it was kind of blurry altogether. This is inside the cabin we were staying in. It looks like maybe a little overexposed, I'm guessing. Had the big chandelier on so you could see it. Of course, it's broad daylight. Wife and daughter, she's not happy I took that picture. Then there's the picture of just down in the woods. That goes way down deep in there. And this is another picture looking up at the trees. They're not, I mean, when you focus in on them, you can tell that it's not quite as sharp as, say, if I pulled up pictures I took the same weekend with my Canon 35mm. That was this one here. We took around quite a bit. I was really impressed with the pictures we got of that. We used Kodak 400 in it. All right, so like I said, we got in the woods here. Here's another picture. This is what I'm talking about. Should have been on a tripod because the exposure was a little longer than I thought it was going to be. So the shutter stayed open longer. Didn't realize that was going to happen, and that's why we got what we got with the blurry pictures. But then this picture turned out really good. Really clear. I'm really impressed with how clean and clear. You can't quite read the sign, but I think for a 54-year-old camera, not bad at all. Not bad at all. Like I said, you know, the difference between 50-year-old camera with manual focus, manual light settings, manual everything else that you have to set. I thought it was a pretty good run for my first time with it. Will I shoot this camera again? Probably so. Will I use the 200 speed film? I don't know. May look at a different speed film, maybe a 400 in it, to see what we'll do. That's as far up as I can go with this camera, is 400. Now I could step the film speed up to 500, pushing it, or I could always drop it down too if I wanted to. I could drop it down at least down to 230 or 320. That's 320. I'm just looking at the thing. So anyways, let's go back to the main camera. Okay guys, that's it with the Yashica Southern, what can I say, G. We know we're cheating with the battery by using a couple different things to make 6 volts, because you can't get that battery anymore because it's a 6 volt mercury. And some people say that by doing what I'm doing, it's probably not getting a good true light reading, but I think it's getting a fairly well. I think it's doing well. A lot of the pictures I shot, I did infinity mode on. That way, the only thing I was really having to focus on was light. It was my speed of the shutter itself. You would get that little warning light inside if there was a problem. Like right now, it's not giving me any kind of warning light. It would actually have taken a picture right then, but I don't have any film in it. So I feel like battery may be dead. I may have taken the batteries out. I may have, because I was storing it. But anyway, I'm not disappointed. I am actually thrilled that the camera worked. I was really thinking I would get it, clean it up, put batteries in, and it wouldn't work. I really did. I really thought that. I was not thinking, you know, good pictures or anything out of this thing. Being as old as it was, no guarantee that it worked. This was an eBay purchase. Yeah, no, it wasn't. Oh, I purchased this from another source. I'm not going to disclose that source because Seems like everybody and their mama knows what that source is, and they're just not going to disclose. But anyway, I'm really impressed with what it put out. I really am. Not disappointed at all. So I'm going to take the antique and I'm going to put it up and keep it. And maybe someday I'll pull it back out again and take it for another spin. But for now, I've got something else that I'm maybe using 35mm wise. We'll see. That's it for this one, guys. Go out and shoot some pictures, shoot some video, post them somewhere. And for the most part, we'll see you in the next one. Later. The Yashica will be Yashica Sami Yashica.